Hey, Hound Dogs, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor Hankins.
I'm Julia
I'm
Canon.
Rachel,
Oh,
and I'm Rachel
sorry.
Wells.
And you're on the air with Power Squared. We'll have somebody else joining us, hopefully. Jen Moreno will be joining us, hopefully, in the near future. But we're here to talk about it's our book club, 10th book club.
Yes.
This is a book that Jen picked.
Number 10.
Yes.
Number 10.
Jen did 10.
Yeah.
So this is Frieren Beyond Journey's End.
So I would normally ask Jen what made her pick the book, but I guess if she comes on, we'll add that. I know she's had
We'll
some
get there.
problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what did everybody think of the book?
It was a good read. It was like one of the, like, obviously every book we read, like, I'm able to like keep up with it, but it was like one of those nice read. It's like any other book we read. It's like it was a nice read where like I was able to like go through it, like, obviously at a. My brain was gonna say something. I'm sorry. Basically, it was like a good gist of like when I was reading it, just reminded me of D&D.
Yeah.
Go ahead and see
I think
that.
it's supposed to be reminiscent of that.
Yeah.
I
You
know,
got the
Or
mage.
like
You
things
got
like
the.
Dragon Quest,
Mhm.
like
Japan.
JRPGs.
I think Japan really likes first edition D&D.
Those-
Actually, a lot of their
What's
fantasy
wrong with
stuff
fifth
is-
edition? No, I'm kidding.
A lot of fantasy stuff in Japan is based on first edition.
Oh,
like
That's-
kobolds.
Yeah.
Why does that make sense?
so it's sort of the story after the epic journey,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
so that which was kind of nobody ever does that
Yeah.
story.
Yeah, it's like post game. It's like post game after,
Yeah.
like after your goal.
Yeah.
For those who don't
Yes.
know, Frieren tells the story of like a party that defeated the Demon King, and one of the party members is an elf who is much longer lived than the other members of the party, and they all die around her, and she has to. The story is about her dealing with them,
Yeah.
especially with like, oh, this human didn't live quite as long as I expected them to, and I missed out with them. Like, what am I gonna do about that?
Yeah.
And I remember that meme going around a while ago. It might have been going around Twitter or something. Where like, it prompts you to imagine like being an elf and having all of your little human friends die around you, almost like it's almost like they have a relationship with humans, like humans have. Where like the dog dies at age 10 and you have to mourn them, then you get a new dog.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice to be considered a dog.
Oh no.
I mean,
No, I understand what you're saying. Is it's you outlive them, and so you have to get another human friend or whatever. Dog.
yeah.
To sustain your sanity, so you don't turn into a hermit that has 20 cats. Am I wrong?
Yeah, she's supposedly like she's not immortal, but she's like really close to it or something.
Yeah. I think like the normal thing, like when it comes to the elf class, like in D&D in general, is like they outlive humans, so it's like it'd be sad.
Yeah,
I believe it mentions in the book that she's like 1,000 years old.
but she doesn't.
She's like
But she
still
still
pretty young.
she still gets carded when she gets a drink. It's good. No.
Baby face taken to a whole new level.
Yes. Yeah, and so she picks up a companion.
Yes.
I forgot the name of the woman.
Fern.
Yeah.
Little fern.
Okay, and she's sort of bringing her along, and then you get a feeling that Fern is kind of taking care of her as well.
Yeah.
One thing I thought was interesting about the story was how the passage of time between chapters was given in years.
Yes.
Yeah. It jumps around in time a lot because, I mean, honestly, for the main character, Frieren, like 50 years is like 50 days for her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
It kind of makes you wonder how it's like like I understand the gist of like how they live longer, so it kind of made me wonder. I'm just like, is it just more of because we understand the gist of a year, or if it's one of those things where because of with how fast like time goes for her, it always makes me wonder. I'm just like, does time really just go like faster, like how like dogs, like a week, like a year for dogs is like 7 years kind of thing?
So
Yeah,
it gets
I was
slower for
thinking.
her.
Yeah, or it goes fast.
I
Well,
was-
it goes faster. Well, you get the idea.
I was thinking because she's so long lived, like she's experienced this time differently. Hey, it's Jen. Is it
Hey.
gonna work?
Jen,
Hello.
yay!
Oh,
Yay.
yay!
We hear you.
Alright.
Let's go.
Yeah, so we'll go back to the question we usually try to start these with is, what attracted you to the book, Jen?
Okay, what was it? Sorry.
What attracted you to the book? You picked the book.
Your Frieren?
Yeah.
Yes.
Other than the art style, just how the story is told and not really just, adventure and all this, despite it being like an adventure story after the main adventures passed.
Right.
And kind of taking this perspective of a character, an elf, that's lived so many years and think nothing of it, and then finally realizing, oh wait, I hold this person near and dear, and I don't know a thing about them. So, in kind of appreciation of of uh him trying to teach her the ways, and then her realizing that's what his intent was, kind of repaying his adventure group for what they taught her along the way with Fern, with other people, with doing the favors for people along the way to this new journey with Fern.
All right.
So that's what I really like about it. That it's not so much actiony as much as trying to tell the story through a more nuanced way of relating to people.
Yeah.
A little more sober.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she does sort of little nice gestures along the way, helping villages and things out as she goes. Yeah.
It's also like in a way because like one thing I noticed in the book is like she's backtracking. So in her perspective, it's also her checking in on like what they've done to see like did it get better, did it get worse, how is everyone doing, that kind of thing. Which is always like nice to see when it comes to like seeing stories like obviously we don't know exactly what happened in the context of their adventure like 10 years ago, but like obviously for her it's like it's like a nice it's a nice thing to see like when they just see when they go back to see how if their like actions or something did something good for that village or wherever they went to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the story is generally, at least in Volume 1, generally seems to be about Frieren learning how to value her time. Like, she's so long lived that things just seem to fly by her and she doesn't seem to stop and notice things. But then when her very dear human friend dies, she realizes that time is precious and you need to take advantage of if you don't want life to pass.
Mm-hmm.
So in essence, like her friends were just trying to tell her like sit down, smell the roses every once in a while.
Yeah.
Pretty much. And you can see that kind of with Fern too, where she's very inexperienced with anything outside just learning magic, or like with Hato, the priest. She kind of has the same idea when in one of the chapters they were looking for a flower, and she found it pointless to look for a flower specific to her dear friend. And it's like, well, it's also kind of a gesture of repayment to her friend, and Fern just didn't get that notion from the whole mission, the whole goal of staying in that village.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's like looking at her friend's statue. You're an idiot, but I owe you a solid.
Basically.
One thing I found interesting was how it's like a seemingly innocuous detail comes back or gets some of her Friren's actions get explained later through a flashback.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Why was she looking for this spell? And then later it's like, oh, that's why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that's what I like about it, where she realizes there's certain things that Himmel was trying to tell her friend from back in the adventure days, that there were certain times where he was trying to tell her a specific way of seeing things and she just didn't get it. until that moment in the present time. She finally realizes, oh, that's what he meant by that. But
Yeah.
she learns through those experiences now, even though
Yeah.
she regrets it.
I do like how, despite how old she is or how long she's been around, she's still quite naive. Like the human priest character, Heiter, I want to say how it's pronounced, manages to trick her into taking on this human orphan Fern as an apprentice, and she doesn't really catch on to his trick until like she's been.
Yeah.
She doesn't catch on until like, you're on your deathbed, you son of a.
Neener, neener. Yes.
Oh, I got the last laugh, child.
I was gonna say the chapter about killing magic was interesting because not only is it like following up on what happened before, but we also learn more about the history of the magic. Like this used to be
Yeah.
a really devastating spell, and now it's just normal magic.
Technology has caught up.
Basically.
And the defensive spell that she was showing Fern came up during, or it came up later in the chapter exactly as they practiced.
Yeah, it's like another thing of like, why is this here near the end of the chapter? Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's why.
Yeah.
All right. Have you read more of this, Jen? You had volume 2,
Not
volume 3?
currently. I think I've only gone to like the 5th or 6th chapter when they both had to face something. I forgot what it was, but yeah, that's as far as I've gone. And I know they've released. I think they released an animation.
Yeah, they
Recently,
The
started
anime
so-
is coming out on the 29th of September.
Yeah.
If you're
Oh,
watching
so
this on
soon.
Friday, that's a week from now. If you're watching this on Wednesday, it's this
Mhm.
Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey. So it's
And if
very
you watch it after
appropriate
that,
we
it was the 29th. Yeah.
Well. It was all coming together.
it's actually quite
Algorithmic
appropriate that we
synergy.
chose this book.
Yeah. Well, I don't. Yeah.
So I will be normally I'm kind of like giving up on high fantasy style anime because a lot of it's much the same for me. But since we chose this book, I do plan on watching the Frieren. I do want to read more of the manga, like the.
Usually, you've read 2 or 3 of the books by this time. You're always reading ahead, you know.
Mhm.
So, since you're advertising the anime, where can people watch it, Rachel?
I believe it's going to be on Crunchyroll,
I say, okay.
at least in America.
Well,
Yeah.
time to mooch off my friends now.
I mean, if you're going to sell it, you might as well go through and say where you can sell it.
Yeah.
All
I'm pretty sure I'll be following up more on the anime just to be able to listen to it in the English dub. I really enjoy more reading the manga just for the visual storytelling of it, but the anime is probably the way to go right now
Yeah.
before I go back into the manga.
It does look
Mhm.
very good. Like, it looks like it's going to have a good animation.
That's good.
Yeah.
I think I saw one trailer at least. But it was one of those shorter trailers where they're just gonna introduce the main voice and that's it.
Yeah. I think it says Madhouse is doing it, so
Mhm.
they haven't let me down yet.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Madhouse is a good studio.
Yes.
Very good studio.
Maybe we should have anime.
Done
for
a lot of
talk.
the favorite anime.
All right.
Anything else about Frieren?
It was more of a me thing, but part of me forgot what their color palette was like after reading it, because for some reason I know for a fact, like, obviously their color palette's on the front of the page, but for some reason when I was like reading through it at one point I thought that freaking Himel was like a light was like a light brown haired dude, and for some reason I thought that Frieren
I'm the
was like a
same,
blonde.
though.
I'm just like, why did I think this?
I'm the same though. Like I thought, I kept imagining his hair is red because like
Yeah.
obviously the hero has to have red hair. For some
Yeah,
reason. And then I saw like the blue hair, and I'm like, wait, no, this is wrong.
yeah.
How
And
do
like
you do this?
I have yet to see like obviously like anything else from like Frieren yet, but for some reason whenever I like look at Fern, I think she's gonna have like a red palette for some reason, and I'm just like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, does anyone get that with manga? Sometimes you just forget that a color palette exists, and then when you read it in black and white, it just your brain
Yeah.
just wonders of something else.
When
Many
you read
times.
manga, it can be hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah.
Try One Piece, where sometimes the anime and manga have different color palettes.
Oh no!
Unfortunately.
Which one is the canon event?
So are we done with this book?
uh,
Not
okay,
Generation.
so if there's
The
nothing
journey's
else-
never over. Pick it up at your local bookstore.
so if we're done talking about Frieren, what's the next book we're
Yes.
reading?
And who's picking it this time?
Hey.
Oh,
Rachel.
First, I want to take a poll. If any of y'all have read
What?
Did you say Scott Pilgrim?
how many of you guys have read Scott Pilgrim?
Jen!
You didn't read Scott Pilgrim.
I'm
I was
not-
looking for one.
I'm-
I was looking for one person, so I'm choosing Scott Pilgrim based on I think
Let's go.
it came to me when we were talking about it in the last show I was in, and I figure I haven't read it in a while personally, so maybe it's worth a revisit.
I'm down.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I know we have all the issues. of
And
it.
Netflix is coming out.
Oh,
with,
dude, I felt
anime.
so
Yes.
bad. I felt so bad in high school because our librarian, she actually brought her personal collection of Scott Pilgrim to our library at one point, and then some
Aw.
dude thought it'd be cool to like steal all the
No,
books at one point, and we're just like, well, no one's gonna read it now at school,
you ruined it for everyone.
essentially.
Let's go find him and give him some justice.
I don't know. It was like I don't know. It was like 15 years ago. I'm pretty sure.
I'm sure he's still out there somewhere. Let's go. Let's find him.
I don't know. I don't know which year. I don't know which year it was taken. All I know is someone took it at one point.
You told the story.
Bad.
All right. Hold on. Sorry.
Yeah, an iconic piece of comic history. Everyone should read.
Yes.
Yes. So we will
It's
read
a good like. It's like one of the good like writings of like I believe it's like in a way a hero's journey. In like,
Yeah,
in a
you're
way.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It's a hero's journey for millennials.
Alright, so Scott Pilgrim. Doesn't matter to you if anyone reads it in black and white or color. Right,
Nah.
'cause I have both.
I have all of them.
Read
Regardless.
both then and tell us the differences.
Alright.
All right. So this is book one, Scott Pilgrim.
Book one.
All right, and I guess we'll decide on
We'll decide when.
when later.
Stay tuned.
Alright, so if you're watching this on YouTube and you like this, leave a like, subscribe if you want to see more, and leave a comment below if you have any thoughts on Frieren the manga or if you're hyped for the anime.
All right. So until next time, I'm David Hankins.
I'm Paul Hankins.
I'm Trevor
And
Hankins.
Rachel Wells.
I'm Julia Canon.
Wait,
And
I don't know it anymore. I don't know anymore.
eh,
I don't know the order of things.
Oh.
And you've been.
Oh. They're on the air with Tower Square. I'm sorry. There was a thing came by that said we were disconnected, so I'm sorry.